All right, in this video, we're going to be making the floor. So this whole deck is made out of 2x6s as opposed to 2x4s. So remember, the nominal thickness is the actual thickness is 1.5 by 5.5. The nominal is 2x6. We call these boards 2x6s. You see that we have two long boards. Those are called the rim joists, and the boards that connect in the middle are called joists. They are 16 inches on center, except for the last one, which will be 14.5 inches. Again, totally fine when you're framing in walls and floors. So we'll take it over to a brand new file. It's going to be an IPT standard, and we're going to say create. If I take a look at my picture, I see that I have a rim joist length of 144 inches. They are 96 inches apart, so it's going to be 12 feet by 8 feet. We're going to take it back over to part 2. We're going to save it as floor frame, my initials, and save. Okay, starting the sketch, we're going to be down here on the XZ plane. I always like to flip my view cube over so the top is lined up and just push the origin down to the bottom left. Zoom out a bit because it's going to be a bigger drawing. And the first thing I'm going to do is make a rectangle for that rim joist. So, that's going to be really big. Let's zoom in a bit. There we go. Something like that. So I'm going to make this first piece for my rim joist. We just said down here that that's going to be 144 inches long, and it's going to be 1.5 inches wide. So 144 by 1.5. That's going to really shrink up there, so I'll zoom in. So there's my bottom piece. Say okay. Next up, I'm going to make the top rim joist. Use my guidelines. So rectangle up. I want to just move around here. I can space it as close together as I want, but I want to find that guideline so that they're lined up with each other. Okay. So again, 144 and 1.5, 1.5 inches. And now I'm going to separate those two from here to here. And again, floor frame is going to be 96 inches apart. All right. Now it's time to add the joists. And this is going to be real quick, real simple. I'm going to draw my first joist in between the rim joists. So I'm going to connect to the first corner, bring it on down. There we go, 93 inches long. And that, again, is going to be 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches wide. All right. And you know from here, what we do is take the rectangular pattern tool. There's many ways to do this, but this is going to be the quickest. So I'm going to select the geometry, which is these two lines. And I'm going to say the direction, which is going to be based off of this line. My arrow by default is heading in the proper direction. And I could either go back and count, or I can just kind of fiddle in with these numbers here. But I know my spacing is going to be 16 inches. And let's see. I think we wanted 9. Nope, we want 10. Okie doke. I'm going to say okay. Oh, actually, you know what? That 10th one brings me off. So I'm going to keep that at 9. Hit enter. And now I'm going to do my final joist just based off of that corner down to this piece. And I'm going to just make that 1.5. Enter. All right. And there we go. I have everything I need. I'm going to put a little bit of a flooring on here. I'll show you how to do that in a second. But I'm going to say finish sketch. and I want to extrude this. So take my extrude button, and we're going to get each one of these joists. Be very careful to zoom right in and only click on the joist. You don't want the bays in between. Right? That's looking good. And we said that these are made out of 2x6s, actual thickness 5.5. We got to take off that 1/2 inch. So there's our flooring. You said it's much thicker. The floor joists are made to carry a lot of weight, so we need a thicker board. Say okay and accept. And now with this step, I'm just going to give it some material. I'm going to use pine. Drag that up here and click extrusion, click pine, get rid of the box. There we go. So there is my floor. And now to just for a rendering, just to show you like what would happen here is after you build the floor, you put in what's called the subfloor or the decking. And this is going to be just a combination of the spline tool and then a couple lines matched up with the floor joists. So go back to floor frame, start a sketch, select on top of this surface. And I'm going to go to my line tool, go to the menu and select spline. And I'm going to go right from, I can go anywhere from this corner, right? So I'll just go from this line and just kind of give it a click. You want to make like a zigzag pattern that ultimately terminates right about there. Say okay. And then I'm going to finish this off. And you can either use project geometry or just draw new lines. So I'm going to choose to use the lines. And I'm going to connect to my spline endpoint. Go back from endpoint to endpoint. Please be sure you're zooming in. If you can't really find those points, make sure you're zooming in. And one more line like that. Okay. And I'm ready to go ahead and extrude that. There we go. And we're going to do that at 3/4 of an inch. So that's going to be 0.75. And I'm going to make this a different color. So go back to my materials. And now this is mainly just for color. So there's differentiation between the joists and the floor. I find that red oak tends to look kind of nice. Not that one. Really, you could use anything you want here. There we go. I guess that was the one. Throw that in the box. Click on my extrusion. And there we go. So now I have some variation in color. Get rid of my box. And you're all set. That, folks, is going to be your floor. Good luck.